So, if you may or may not know that this year I became a student again at the age of 31. So, I thought I would do a what to get a student. Now, I preference this highly because obviously I'm part-time student. I work, I'm living at home. You know what I mean, that kind of thing. So I'm not going to keep it. So I'm not going to mention like the household stuff, but more so stuff that be kind of useful, if that makes any sense. Like what I would like, basically. This is not like a wish list or anything because I literally have everything. But you get what I mean. If you're struggling for ideas and stuff. So like, say for example, you've got like what do you call them again? What do you call them again? Mystery, is it? I can't remember what it's called now. Secret Santa. So first off is pens. Like pens. Like I've gone through I've noticed, for me anyway, the cheaper the pen, less likely it's gonna last. But pens, you can't go wrong with pens. You can get obviously normal pens, or if you want to be fancy, you can get those like fancy like themed pens and stuff. But you can't go wrong with pens. Especially with notebooks, depending on what that person does. So I'm somebody who writes notes, writes notes opposed to typing notes. So for me, or somebody else who who likes to write their notes, then notebooks are good. Or even in secondary school, because I don't think we've gone to that stage where we're using laptops to take notes. Anyway, either way, pens and notebooks, you can't go wrong. You can't go wrong with that. Other ideas, maybe a folder, say, you know, to keep all the papers in, or even if they're an art student, one of those big art folders would be very helpful so they can stick their artworks in. That's a good gift idea. When it comes to like gift cards and stuff, you can't go wrong with, like, obviously if this person likes to read or they need like study books and stuff like that, Waterstones is a good one. You got WH Smith as well, where you can pick up all sorts of stationery and stuff if you're not 100% sure what they want, or they may want books or whatever. Again, a gift card's perfect. And then, you know, a student, usually a full-time student, we could be struggling, so even supermarket vouchers would be a really good one, to be fair, because I think I'd be happy if I got a Sainsbury's gift card, like seriously, because I can use that towards food, which may sound a little bit strange, but as a student, as a full-time student, a lot of them like struggle quite a bit to feed themselves and to work and to study at the same time. So that would be a very good one. But yeah, coffee shop gift cards, you can't really go wrong with gift cards at all, really. You can't really go wrong with gift cards, even like gift cards for clothing and stuff like that. You could buy as well. But yeah, that's kind of the sort of ideas. A good shop, I think, to buy for a student is Typo. I love that shop, even like as I was a non-student. But they have all sorts of stuff. They have like mini games, they have loads of notebooks, pens, and they have kind of like quirky kind of stuff. That's just like a perfect place to go grab stuff like for your like student like friends and stuff as gifts. That's always kind of like a really good go-to place. Another thing as well you could give them is candles. You know, some people like to study in like a nice smelling like room and stuff, or you know, candles are a good one if you know particularly what scents they like. Yankee candles is a good one, or you can go for a more cheaper brand if you want to. But if you want a very strong fragrance, I recommend Yankee Candle, or Asda brand candles are really good as well from Asda. They're really good. They're really good at strong scents. So there's that kind of thing. So it kind of just depends really on what type of student they are. As I said, I didn't really want to focus on that much, but if they are a full-time student and they're in like accommodation or whatever, they're at home or that sort of thing, you may want to kind of give them like, again, you probably know their situation, if they need kind of like, I don't know, like plants or something like that maybe. But that's kind of like more specific sort of thing. But that's basically my list of things which I would happy to get anyway, with pens being the first one. Another one, actually, I forgot to mention, another one would be like a power bank. A power bank's a really good one, because you know You know, everyone's on their phones now anyway, even student or non-student. Phone bank's a really good one. Another cool idea would be, if they haven't got one, is like a bag where they can keep their, like, where they can transfer their laptops or tablets or whatever. Something like that would be a good one as well. You know, bags, backpacks, that kind of thing. But yeah, these are kind of just the list that I would be happy with. Obviously each person's different, but it kind of gives you an idea of what a student kind of would like as a gift. And I said number one for me is like pens. Sticky notes could be one as well, especially if they're in shared accommodation and they're living with people which like to steal other people, because I know people kind of like, in that situation, they like to label who has what, whose items are theirs, whose items are theirs, that sort of thing. So sticky notes, maybe another one, sticky notes, maybe a helpful one. But this is just like a quick guide basically of some of the stuff if you're like, you have no idea. This could be more useful if you're kind of like an adult, maybe for your child or something like that. You're wondering what to get for them, or maybe a niece or nephew, that kind of thing. But that's kind of the things that, you know, I would be happy to get, with pens being number one, notebooks being another one, and then all the other ones like in between. So yeah, that's basically it for this video. So bye guys.